Man, it's cold this morning. I've got a space heater running right behind me, so if you hear some sort of white noise, possibly that's what that is. And I really don't know what I'm doing here. I mean, I kind of have an idea, and I'm just testing something. I'm testing a new way of sharing with you and also pep talking myself things related to Joe Does Stuff, i.e. the painting business, just business in general, and just things that have been going on. One of the reasons why I want to do this is because, I'm filming all day, every day. I really do film, most of the days. I really do film throughout the days. Some days I don't have conclusions to those videos. Some days it's just like a little piece. So actually I can't really say I'm filming all throughout the day, but most of the days I am at least trying to do so. And probably like half of those days I'm not able to do so. That's a better way to put it right there. But the fact of the matter is, I end up with these videos that just have so much monotonous. Going to check units. Most units look the exact same, properties. And so I've got all of this footage from probably a week or more. And that's how behind on sharing things with you I am. And long story short, what I want to do right here is just kind of recap the week. Gosh almighty, I got some things to bring you up to speed on. So much shit. Every one of these bullet points I'm going to hit on in this video could be its own clickbait type of a story to share. And I really don't care about that. I just want to share with you guys what's been going on. And like I said, this is kind of like a pep talk to myself as well. And I guess I'll start with that and why. I find myself currently in a very weird place with the painting business. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the painting business. We're not closing down shop. I'm not tired of this. I legitimately enjoy going out every single day and trying to work as hard as I possibly can. Not only to handle the jobs that we have for that particular day and to put people to work every single day, but also to try to get more work. And just recently, this past week, I think it was Thursday, that would be one of the most trying days that I've had as of late. I'll share all about that with you. So trying that I was almost crying by the end of the day, riding home in my feelings, listening to motivational speeches by the likes of David Goggins and Denzel Washington and Steve Harvey and things like that, just really trying to pick myself up. And there's a lot of things that I want to share with you guys. I don't want to bore you to death with all the monotonous shit of the vlog footage. So that's a big part of why I'm doing this here. I'm also doing this because I want to be able to chronicle for myself things that I need to be able to go back and look at. Like I said, driving home, listening to David Goggins. Fuck that. I need to be listening to myself and what I'm going through in an effort to try to get where I want to be. And where do I want to be? Better off than where I am currently, and I think a lot of people want that. My business is doing fairly well. I want it to be doing a hell of a lot better, but there's certain limitations that are hard to overcome. My business is highly dependent upon the work and quality of work that I'm getting out of the people that I try to employ, and that's a big thing. So anyways, let me go ahead and recap some things that I haven't had a chance to share with you. And with this, I'm also going to have like this, maybe filler footage of some of the vlog footage so I can show you guys some of what has been, going on other than you just looking at my beautiful face, telling you about it. I didn't subscribe to Joe Talks About Stuff. Yeah. So where do I begin? I've got some bullet points that I want to hit on with you guys, and I'm sure there's some other things that are going to come to mind because I don't have very many bullet points. But trust me, there's a lot of things here. Okay, so let's start with this. Ever since the Tom firing situation, I was certainly short-staffed, so I had to find some new people. This past week, I would try out, and maybe from a week or two even prior to this, I've tried out about 3 or 4 new people. We've got this guy, John, a.k.a. Whistling Diesel. That's my nickname for him. We had this guy, Eric. We had this guy, Cedric. We got this guy, Ronnie. And you'll notice that I say we have and we had because at least half of the guys that I've tried out obviously haven't worked out. John, aka Whistling Diesel, has proven to be an absolute asset, ally, and just an all-around awesome guy. Came into this not much of a painter, but he certainly has picked it up. He's more of a mechanic, mechanically inclined. And wouldn't you know, he knows all about that particular motor that's in the box truck, the 6.5 turbo diesel. But John has been an absolute asset. There was a guy named Eric who I wanted to give a shot to, and, you know, I gave him a couple of days to try to show me that he was going to be somebody I wanted to keep around. And I would ultimately make the decision that he was not. So I would no longer work him. I had him doing drywall repairs, and though he could do them to a certain degree, he did kind of drag his feet, and I would end up just going a different route than actually working him. And there was no drama. There was no knockdown, drag out. I just said, hey, look, you know, I can't use you anymore. I've given you a couple of chances. It's just not working out. And that was that. We did not go out on bad terms. Matter of fact, he still texted me even after that. There was a guy named Cedric. He was an ex-Marine. And I hate to say this, but, you know, I'm just going to call it for what it is. He was not very impressive. Sort of reminded me of, you know, a guy who was on the verge of, you know, shooting some shit up. And work-wise, you know, though he would work, he just weren't it, Chief. So gave him a couple of days, and though he was able to do some things, he just was not all that. I got a guy named Ronnie. I've held on to him. He is a good painter. He's a very good painter. A little slow in terms of, you know, speed-wise, but he is a quality painter, and he's been a great acquisition as well. So of 4 new people that I've mentioned, 2 of them I've held on to. Getting back to John and his familiarity with the 6.5 turbo diesel. Matter of fact, he has one. Matter of fact, John is a fucking mechanic by trade, basically. Maybe not a certified mechanic, but the man certainly knows how to do some things. So much, in fact, that, folks, breaking news, we have, in fact, gotten the box truck back. That's right. I would call the mechanic shop earlier this week, I think it was Tuesday, and say, hey, I'm that guy calling about my box truck. Just trying to find out what's going on. Oh, yeah. The guy, he's on the phone right now. Yeah, I don't care what he's doing. I just want to let you know I'm coming to get the truck today. So this guy would end up giving me a call back. Now, mind you, we're months separated from the last time that I spoke with this guy. And this motherfucker got the nerve to tell me, hey, yeah, you know, we were just test driving the truck today. And is there a problem with the fuel gauge? I said, listen, man, we're far beyond that. I just want to let you know I'm coming to get the truck. And I was being very pleasant. I said, look, you know, I appreciate, you know, you're trying to get to the truck. I understand you're probably busy, but I've decided to go a different route. I'm going to come get the truck. And as soon as I said that, and again, a very nice enough way, this whole guy's demeanor changed. Well, I didn't want to work on the truck anyways. It's literally what he said to me. I said, man, we ain't got to turn this into a pissing match. I said, because if you want to, what the fuck happened with you calling me back over a month ago? Oh, well, you know, I'm really bad at communication, and I'm short-staffed, and, you know, I tried to hire this new guy, and I said, shh, we don't need all that. I'm coming to get the truck. And that was the end of the phone call. So I would go there to get the truck. This guy would literally walk right past me. Yeah, she's going to give you the keys. And then the lady literally had the keys hanging out the window. They were ready for me to just take that truck and leave, and that's what I did. Didn't want to make it a big drama scene. I thought about going in there and filming it. There's no need for all of that. We got the truck back, and lo and behold, John began working on the truck immediately, taking the fuel filter off, seeing how congested this fuel filter was with rusty diesel fuel. So rusty, in fact, he thought that they were running red diesel, which I guess is like illegal off-road diesel or something, or illegal for on-road vehicles, like something like that. But no, that's not the case. It was just so much rust. I mean, literally chunks of rust in this fuel filter. So we replaced the fuel filter, and the box truck has been running, well, was running okay, but we knew that that fuel filter was going to get clogged up just like the last one because of the fact that the issues are coming from the fuel tank. But I did want to drive the piss out of the box truck. In the meantime, between us ordering a new fuel tank, which John was able to find, I've ordered this fuel tank. It's going to be here on Sunday. It's Saturday morning as I'm filming this. And he's going to drop that tank, replace that tank, and delete the tank sock. He's going to put an exterior filter, and then we got the fuel filter. So there's going to be 2 filters on this fuel rail or something like that. I don't really know what I'm talking about, but something about 2 fuel filters, and that should help quite a bit. So this past week, I had John literally just driving the box truck every single day. We've actually got a place to store the box truck now, which is out of the way. No problems at all. This is a legit place we can store the box truck. So in the morning time, John would go drop his vehicle off, pick up the box truck, and he would be on the road with it. I drove the box truck one day, one afternoon. I had to go pick up some paint. And do you know that while I was driving the box truck, of course, it wanted to act up. Now, I am kind of driving the piss out of this thing, but that's what I want to do. But I would notice this click that I've heard all too often with the box truck, and that click is the first sign that trouble is a brewing. And show shit, the box truck would stall out, and I damn near didn't make it off the side of the road or off to the side of the road during rush hour traffic, but luckily I did. I kind of had to cut this car off because I didn't have much speed to get over, and it was right on an on-ramp. Oh, it was an ugly situation. Should have been filming it, but I wasn't. I was kind of freaking out, actually. I started the box truck. It started up right immediately. So I get to the paint store. I'm stranded there. John's got my truck because, you know, he drives my truck if I've got the box truck, or sometimes I'll have him driving my truck. And I tell him, hey, you got to come get me, or you got to come over here and help me get this box truck. She's done. We gotta shut her down until we get this thing fixed. And fixed, it's soon to be. So John gets there. I'm telling him about this clicking noise. He had never heard the clicking noise, but he did some research on it and found out that it's potentially an oil lifter pump, something like that. I can't remember exactly what it was. He said it's a $25 part. And he said, you know, it's crazy because I think that's what's wrong with my truck as well. So he ordered 2 of them. He's going to put one on his and one on the box truck. So potentially we're going to change out the fuel tank for a brand new tank. We're going to have that tank sock deleted, another fuel filter, and then another fuel filter. And then this fuel lifter pump or oil lifter pump mechanism replaced, and hopefully then the box truck is as it should be and we're able to utilize this thing. And we need to be able to utilize this thing because we are taking on a lot of additional work outside of painting. Matter of fact, Monday I'm going to go replace a section of gutters on a gazebo at a property. And you know, the box truck would be great just to be able to tote materials around, especially when it's raining outside. And my God, we've certainly dealt with the rain this past week. So long story short, for the second time, we've gotten the box truck back, and hopefully soon, like by Monday-isk, Tuesday at the latest, the box truck is fully operational. Actually, it'll be a little bit later than that because that piece or that component that John ordered doesn't come in until Thursday. Hopefully by the end of this upcoming week, the box truck is as it should be. I got the box truck back, started a couple of new guys. I've addressed both of those bullet points right there. Moving on. I mentioned that, I was all up in my feels the other day. I had one of the worst days ever with this painting business just this past Thursday. So bad, in fact, like I said, I wanted to cry. And this day started off Thursday morning. It is icing. It's not raining. It's icing outside. It's bright and early. It's about 8 o'clock in the morning. And we are getting ready to start a brand new property. I don't even think that I've gotten the opportunity to share with you that we've gotten a couple of new properties. There's a property 13 and potentially a property 14 as well. I'm going to go meet with them on Tuesday. And property 14, the nice woman that called me from there, she oversees a few properties. So this could lead to more. Thursday, we were to begin at a new property, property 13. And I was so much in a hurry Thursday morning to want to get there bright and early just to make such a good example. I was putting, my best painters or some of my best painters in that unit to get the unit done. It was an easy unit. It's a 1-bedroom townhouse, which is the craziest thing in the world. All I have is footage from basically when we've gotten that unit completed, but you get an idea of what it looks like right here. It looks a lot like property 5. Matter of fact, they're all owned by the same people, so that's probably why. This is a great opportunity for us. They've got 300 units. They got a ton of work. They really want to utilize us. So before we even got to doing the work, it's Thursday morning, and I'm in a hurry to get there. But I've got other stops I've got to make along the way. I've got to check units over at Property 2. I think there were 2 units I had to check over there, or maybe there were, and I only got a chance to check 1. I go into the unit looks great, but the paint is not put away. This is a major pet peeve of mine, so I'm kind of annoyed by the fact that the paint's not put away. I put the paint on the back of my truck, load out the unit, and I'm driving, and I've got the paint on the tailgate. The tailgate's not shut. I've got so much shit in the back of my truck. I go around a turn. I'm not going very fast at all. Again, it's icing outside, and all of a sudden I hear something fall off the back of my truck. I look back. I thought it was a drop cloth. And then I looked a little closer as I was backing up and realized it was not a drop cloth, but in fact, a full 5 gallons of paint. Fell right off my tailgate and went all fucking over the parking lot. Now, luckily for me, there were 2 things that were lucky. The fact that it was wet as fuck outside, and also the fact that the paint fell this way and not that way, because had it fallen that way and shot out, well, there was a car right there. I checked profusely this vehicle to make sure that we didn't get any paint on this. But again, and we didn't. But again, there's 5 gallons of fucking semi-gloss paint all over the parking lot. I am freaking out. Milton was on site. He comes over to help me. He actually had another guy with him. They both come over to help me. We're using an 8-inch mud knife trying to scoop this paint back into a bucket. I am in absolute panic mode. I'm like, holy shit, this is the biggest blunder that I've made. I should have never been riding with this paint on my tailgate, and I've done that many times. I guess this was just an accident waiting to happen, and it finally did. We're trying to clean this up. Milton has to literally drive around the corner to go pick up paint. Got a property calling me on a Saturday morning. This will be interesting. I bet we're getting fired. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Joe. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, doing well. Hey, listen, I called because I wanted to know if you had any availability for Monday.
I can look. I'm pretty sure that we do, though.
2-bedroom, 3rd floor.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
Bye.
Okay.
That's funny. That's a property I thought we were losing. Still pretty sure we're going to be losing that property. And more on that upcoming. And sorry, I don't mean to make this video super long, but it's going to be probably pretty long. There's a lot that I got to share with you. This paint fell off the back of my truck. It's all over the place. I am in panic mode trying to get this paint picked up. All I need is for these people to ride by, maintenance people to ride by and see this clusterfuck that I've got going on right here and report this to the boss. And, you know, this is already a property that gives me a lot of static on things like painters smoking on the property anyways, they give me a lot of static over shit over what I think are minor things. This is a major thing right here. So we're scrambling to pick up all of this paint. Milton's getting buckets of water. We're trying to run the water over the paint. We've got drop cloths set up like oil shield barriers like you might see in the water, whatever you call those. The oil floats or something. I literally used every single drop cloth that I had, sacrificed every single drop cloth that I had, over 20 drop cloths to pick up this 5 gallons of paint. That's what it took. And it took us over an hour and a half to clean this up. By the time we got it all the way cleaned up, I mean, again, it's icing on us. It's freezing outside. We're soaked. And I have whooped my own ass for the day. Like literally, this was like doing an insanity workout for an hour and a half. Mind you, during this, the maintenance folks would ride by. One guy who is absolutely just an awesome guy. I like this guy a lot. He's always been a solid guy to me. He rides by and he's like, well, I can see how your day's getting started off already. And I don't even remember what I said in response to that. But by the time it was all said and done, here's footage of that spot where it is basically like it never even happened. There are no paint stains. You might see a little discoloration right there, but that is just shit that's going to wash away. Again, this was semi-gloss paint. Had this concrete or this, parking lot been dry, oh my, that shit would have stuck quick. And had it gone the opposite way, it would have been a total disaster. Thought about quitting right there, like, fuck this. This is my own fault. Got to fix this. And we did. So that was the start of my Thursday that really sucked. We would end up going to do the unit over at Property 13, and we knocked it out the park. Supposedly, they were very happy with the work that we did. I mean, we went up and beyond on this unit, and I wish I would have had the befores of this so you could see just how jacked up these walls were. We skim-coated so much shit in this unit to make this thing just a total rehabbed unit, at least wall-wise. So we really did good there. I was hopeful that I was going to get a shit ton of units from this guy for this month because I'm going to be honest, February is not looking good for us. Monday, I've got nothing on the schedule except for a gutter repair and this unit that just popped up. But, you know, the guy would give me units for March. Gave me about 10 units for March. And I'm like, damn, what about February? So I even saw him on site and I was like, hey, you got anything? Like, you got any more of them units? But doesn't seem like he does or something. Maybe obviously somebody else is painting for him this month. That's the short of it. He's definitely got units. Somebody else is doing those units. Let me rewind a little bit and go back to Property 12. Not sure if I've spoken much about us acquiring Property 12, a sister property of Property 5. All of these are sister properties of Property 5. I went and met with Property 13. They like me a lot. They want me to do a lot of other work outside of painting, i.e. like this gutter repair. They want us to do some striping in the parking lot. Like, I've given them quotes on all of this. We've got approval to do the gutters. We were supposed to do a unit for them last week. We were supposed to do it, I think, like Monday or Tuesday, and then they canceled it on us last minute. So I would touch base with them on Friday because I hadn't really heard shit. And I was like, hey, just trying to put my schedule together for the upcoming week. You know, do you got any units? What about that last unit? They give me a different unit. And I'm like, what happened to the first unit? Obviously, somebody else is eating our porridge. Porridge that we're actually going to be eating that previously belonged to somebody else. Then I get to thinking about Property 1. And I'm like, damn, I haven't heard from Property 1 in a long time. Like, we've got a unit upcoming for, I think, Friday. This is, again, Thursday. So I reach out to Property 1. Hey, I want to confirm this unit because I haven't heard from y'all. And really, I don't want to go out there knowing full good and well we're not painting this unit. So I reach out to them. They would finally get back to me saying, oh, yeah, they didn't move out and February is going to be a slow month. I don't necessarily buy the fact that February is going to be a slow month. I truly feel like somebody else is doing those paints. So between me fucking up and dropping this whole 5 gallons of paint all over this parking lot, looking like a big jackass doing that, and then work sort of feeling like it's slowing down when we're still picking up properties, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'm out here trying every single day to work as hard as I possibly can. Where the fuck is the work at? Maybe obviously there's somebody who's better or cheaper. And I can't be mad at anybody but myself for the situation. I'm not even bitching about this. Like I said, this is a pep talk for myself, as well as sharing all of this with you guys. I am totally responsible for the quality of work that we had done over at Property 1, putting the wrong people in a position to do, at times, work that was not up to par. Not all of the time did these people do bad work, but there were times certainly that probably are going to stick out where bad work was done. And whatever the excuse is, being tired, missing it, or just not giving a fuck, whatever the excuse is, ultimately it falls on me. Hey, my business, Joe Does Stuff, is going to always be remembered as, overspray, not cleaning up, leaving shit, missing things at that particular property. And again, they probably got somebody else better, cheaper, whatever the case may be. This is a dogfight. Running a business like this. There's going to be competitors. There's going to be cheaper. There's going to be better. There's going to be more favoritism. Like, you have just got to put your foot, like, you got to put your foot in the door. Don't let them close that door on you and barge your way in. Now, I share all of this about Property 1, and that was another thing that got me in my feelings, feeling like, damn, where the fuck is the work at? But I need you to know the reality is I don't want Property 1. And if I lost a property, I would be okay losing Property 1. And I've mentioned that before here. So that's all of that in a nutshell. By Friday afternoon, I would get a phone call from a potential property 14, and I'm meeting with them on Tuesday to talk about some repair work that they want done. Moving on. Oh, and real quick, I'm quite certain and hopeful that the work is going to come fast and heavy, and I'm going to be scrambling trying to find people to do this work. I will welcome that opportunity. At least I hope that's the way it happens. We did a tough unit over at Property 3 this past week. We've done really well with Property 3. At least I feel like we have. But this past week, we did one of their toughest units, and we called this, I've referred to this as a total rehab unit. It's also a reno unit. It's a down unit right this second. This unit was horrendous. There was a wall that was completely painted black. There were tons of repairs that needed to be made in this unit. There was a lot of damage in this unit. And we would end up going in this unit doing a full color change. That's what they wanted. We did the full color change, and we also did our first cabinet painting job. And that came out stellar. Now, looking at this probably doesn't look all that great. And the reason is you've got lighter walls, a lighter color gray walls, darker color gray cabinets, and then you've got that pesky dark countertop. Well, folks, not only did we do all of the repairs in this unit, we did the color change in this unit, we did the cabinet painting job in this unit, we're also doing the countertop replacement in this unit. And I have just recently found a countertop connection, the best possible one that I can. This guy got the countertop business. He came out, did the measurements, cost me $40, and he's going to get me a quote Monday on how much this countertop's going to cost. He's going to have all of this shit factory made for me. I'm going to go pick it up, and all I'm going to have to do is pop off the old countertop, put on the new countertop, and we are going to be doing countertops. It's my hope. I made a great connection with this guy. I said, hey, look, I got a lot of properties, and I'm hopeful to do a lot of countertop business with you. He talked about me opening an account with him personally. He would go ahead and start stocking material that I need so that I could get the materials expedited. This was a major connection. I am so hopeful for this. We'll see Monday when I get that quote how much this is going to be. I need this countertop to be around $800 and hopefully cheaper than that. It's got to be hopefully cheaper than $800 because I'm trying to charge around $1,300 to do this countertop install. $500 labor, $800 on countertops. You're going to have a phenomenal job in comparison to this work right here, which is what the previous countertop installation people were doing. I mean, this is fucking hack work all day long, if you ask me personally. But the reason for that is because they're not getting the factory fabricated materials, which I will. So we'll see. Maybe they were a hell of a lot cheaper, but, you know, my work should be a hell of a lot better, especially when it's seamless. So if we can do that and that comes out well, I'm going to be trying to sell full reno jobs for properties. I've got a few older properties that could certainly benefit from renovating their kitchens and baths. And let me tell you, you renovate these units, you can charge more on the rent. It ain't none of my business though. And, you know, think about this. We're going to paint cabinets. We're going to replace countertops. We're going to change your knobs and pulls on your cabinets and drawers. We're going to put in a new faucet set. We're going to treat it like a flip. And we're going to do it for, you know, a little bit more than cost, make a profit, and hopefully be able to get a shit ton of that type of work. So that's all of that. Moving on. This past week, something absolutely insane would happen. My wife would call me as soon as I left the house Tuesday, Wednesday morning, one of those days, saying, hey, we got a letter from the courts. They're taking us to court for the front door or the fence. And I said, that's not the case. You know, yes, they've given us shit about both of those two items, and I've addressed both of those two items, and I wish that they would try to bring me the smoke, because let me tell you something. My road in front of my house is pothole central. Whatever construction work was taking place on my road that was supposed to be completed by June of last year, July, I think, has all but ceased. And now, with every rain and every car that flies down my road, these holes just get more and more. This is a forgotten job. You fired another city manager with a $400,000 severance package. Maybe they had some kind of, maybe they were responsible for this. Like, I don't particularly know. All I know is my wife was kind of freaking out about the fact that, this letter was coming in. I said, trust me, if they were taking us to court, they'd be knocking on the door. But they weren't. And I told her, I said, you know what this probably is? This probably is something in relation to Brian, number one, who had court early last month to either have my restitution paid or have to go serve a year in jail. I don't know what the outcome of that situation was. I didn't know whether he had paid or whether he had not paid and went on the run. Well, sure as shit, by the afternoon, my wife would call me and she says, you'll never believe this. You got a check from the courts for $4,400. Brian, number one. Brian, where's my HVAC? Paid in full. And I want to say, I hold no grudge anymore against this man. And matter of fact, I find this to be absolutely commendable. Now, obviously, he had to do this because he had to do this, but he did it. And I've got no qualms with the guy anymore. That was a welcome surprise, for certain. Checks have been coming in steadily with the painting business, and thank God, because something else would just take place this past week, and that was the fact that my wife finally quit the job. Quit the job that she was not welcome at. Quit the job that they wanted to make her feel like that was her only option. She quit the job. She's going to run the painting business full time. She's going to raise our son. We have had a nanny lined up who actually is an ex-employee of that company as well. She was the cleaning lady for that company. She had quit her job long before my wife quit her job, and she was going to watch our son 4 days a week. My wife quit her job because it has just been a constant shit show with this fucking woman, this old lady who is her boss, the big boss, who is nothing more than a pathological liar, a manipulator, a master one at that, and just a real piece of shit, a real piece of work. My wife quits because there's no other options. She's going to go back and be fired. That's what it's going to be. So she writes a letter saying, hey, look, I think it's best if I just, no longer work for y'all. And, the writing is on the walls, basically saying, because that's what you want me to do. And she quit. Mind you, they've already got an ad on Craigslist. They've had this ad looking to fill her position. And they've brought somebody back, who didn't even work for the company to do her job. Like, she knew they didn't want her there. So when she sends this email, she's fully anticipating that, maybe there'll be some rebuttal to this. Oh, no, you got it all wrong, but if that's what you want to do, okay. If you're twisting our arm, go ahead and quit. Do you know this piece of shit, her boss, the big boss, wouldn't even respond. All she did was just change her passwords. Didn't even respond. And, to go ahead and make matters even worse, our babysitter, our nanny, she quit on us. When my wife told her that she quit, the nanny quit on us, saying, hey, I'm going back to the business. I'm going back to that company. It seems like it was a real big conspiracy against my wife, and there's a lot more moving parts to the whole situation, but the fact of the matter is there was a lot of bullshit. This goes far outside of us painting for that company because, again, that phone call that I got, that was the sister property of the property that my wife was working for, still wanting us to paint. I wanted to tell that guy, hey, rush order, gonna have to charge more, but I already charged a pretty penny for those 2-bedroom color changes over at that property, and at least on Monday, I will be able to put some guys to work. So good deal for that. But yeah, real shitty situation that took place with my wife and her job. How defeated and, just crazy my wife must feel knowing that she put so much into this, only to be made to feel unwelcomed in the very end. But let me tell you something. My wife is more than fully capable of doing the job that she was doing. She had done it for 15 years. And let me tell you something. She's going to be running this painting business. She's already doing it. I call her with invoices. Hey, we need to do this, do that. I call her for email help. She's, basically doing a lot of secretary work right now, but she's also going to be the face of this thing, going out there and talking with these ladies and really knowing the business. She's going to be an absolute asset to our business. I think that's it. I think that's everything. I mean, Brian, number one, my wife got fired or basically, quit because she was going to get fired, spilled the paint, got the box truck back, went through a couple of new guys, kept a couple of new guys. Work has been sporadic. Hopefully it's going to picked up a couple of new properties as well. I think that's pretty much it. I find myself in this tough spot, this weird place right now, a lot of unknowns, a lot of pressure on me to perform. Ultimately, I want to be doing these videos. Ultimately, I want to be doing videos for After Prison Show, but ultimately, I got to focus on this and figure out a way to be doing even more. I ain't going to say all that. I was going to say I've kind of come to a conclusion on the manager role and who's going to have that, but I don't want to go with that right this second because that changes every single day. Hey, you want to be the manager? Do you want to be the manager? You're going to be the manager. Yeah, I just need to keep it, I just need to keep observing, but I think I've got my eyes set on somebody and we'll see. There's a couple of other things too. I just need to pick up more work. And there's nothing like going out there and trying to do the best that you can. Not all the time does that come out to be great, but you're trying to do the best that you can and constantly trying to perfect what you do. But in some cases, you were really up against it. I know I see the comments where people are like, oh, Joe, that looks like shit. Oh, you should have done this better. Oh, you should have done that. But you got to understand this. I'm not here to make any excuses for this. You literally can only do what you can do with the situation that you're in. And a great example of that is when we go into these occupied units. That vanity was in an occupied unit. We just did a massive ceiling repair in an occupied unit where a guy was in there with his infant. And we were in there for 3 days doing this ceiling repair. You can only do what you can do. You have got to get it done and keep it moving because these people don't want you in their homes. I don't know what I'm doing with these videos. Like I said, I got 100 gigs of video files that I've probably only used 3 or 4 for this video. And I've shared with you everything, so at least I can go ahead and delete all of that shit. Clear my phone up a little bit. I want to be doing more video-wise. I don't got the damn time, though. That's the truth of it. I wish I could have somebody following me around with this camera hey, so here's what we got going on, and then helping me to edit, but I don't have that anymore. I'm a one-man band in so many regards. And I guess eventually I'll figure it out, and, the goal is, it'll all work itself out, and it'll all, smooth out, and you'll find some common ground to be able to do all of these things. But I know that I'm spreading myself extremely thin. And then, take into account that I've got an absolute priority over every fucking thing that I've talked about in this video, and that being my son. My son and my family are the 2 reasons that I'm doing every fucking thing that I'm doing and trying to spread myself so thin. And that absolutely comes first. But I'm just a bit lost outside of that. And also scared. It's scary running a business. I know I may come across, egotistical and feeling like I'm so fucking full of myself. And I see it sometimes too when I'm editing the video. God damn, Joe, get your head out of your ass. Shit ain't as sweet as you're thinking that it is. But usually that's because I'm a couple of days separated from that footage and something has fucking happened to make me, ground all air traffic. Something like that. I'm going to continue to work hard. And this upcoming week, I am going to fucking hit the ground running like I try to do every week. I've got this prospect of a property 14 that could potentially lead to more. I'm going to go do the first job for property 13 on Monday. We've got property 7 right here who I already know. We've got property 7 calling me with a quick turn unit, which I should be charging a rush order fee for. And who I already know has somebody else out there doing color changes. Yeah, maybe I ought to go ahead and charge that extra money. Because I guarantee I'm not who they called first. Anyways, I don't want to make this any longer than it already is. There was a lot of bullet points in this. I hope that you enjoyed this. And if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know what you thought about this. And I'm going to try to get on track sharing videos with you guys. And maybe that only means once a week. I don't necessarily know. I want to obviously be doing more than that, but we'll just have to see. Anyways, that's all I got. I'm going to spend some time with my wife and my family and enjoy this weekend. And I hope you all are able to do the same as well. Thanks for allowing me to share, and I'll talk with you guys again real soon. Take care.